up, everybody? My name is Becky, and I am here with 3 very special guests. And so I want to give you guys an opportunity to introduce yourself with your name and with your Asian heritage.
Yeah. My name is Melissa, and I am of Filipino descent.
My name is Chris, and I'm Vietnamese.
My name is Emily, and I'm Mien.
And I feel like the best way that we can truly appreciate other cultures, aside from sitting down and talking about conversations and just our background and traditions, is also sharing it over a meal with really good food. And I am the biggest beneficiary of today. And so we're here just to talk about some meals. And so, Melissa, would you start with what meal did you bring today? And yeah, just list out the name and kind of what goes into how you make it.
Okay, so I brought the Filipino staple, the lumpia Shanghai. And that is one of the most popular dishes that you'll find in the Filipino culture. It's like a little mini egg roll, as a lot of people may recognize it as. Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
Okay. This is called yoi kuang. In American culture, you'll just call it like a fresh spring roll. Okay. So there's shrimp and pork, noodles, and a bunch of herbs. And you dip it with a peanut sauce. It's like a peanut hoisin sauce. So usually it's like an appetizer in restaurants. It doesn't always have to be an appetizer, but it's usually paired with something else. It's so versatile. You can eat it with anything.
Okay. And what about you?
And I made kapun. So it's something that I grew up with. It's noodles. It's a curry soup. So it's like red curry with Thai curry. You can make it with chicken, or you can make it with fish. It's something I grew up with eating because it was easy to feed a big group of families. Also, it's just really homey and that curryness of it. So yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get to it.
I already grab a couple.
3. Okay, you're right.
This is how the Filipinos do it. Okay, you grab some while you're eating some already. So.
And then do we spoon the sauce?
Yeah, so there's 2 different sauces. There's a oniony vinegary sauce, which is my personal favorite, or the classic sweet chili sauce that everyone usually uses for their dipping sauce.
Okay. I'm shaking so much. And you said it's onion and...
Yeah, so there's onions, pepper, vinegar, apple cider vinegar, a little bit of sugar because Filipinos like their entrees sweet. So you'll taste that little hint of sugar in there.
Okay. Let me try it then.
I'll do this side. Chili, do it too.
I'll try this with chili after. I kind of want to try this one first.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll take some too.
Go ahead. Got the vinegar? Yeah. I'll leave this.
This is delicious. I've had these before at restaurants where they've been ordered for me.
Yeah.
But they are delicious.
They usually come in with pork. This one in particular is with chicken. I just wanted to make sure everyone's flavor palette was hit. Not a lot of people eat pork, but it's usually made with pork, minced vegetables, a lot of garlic. But this one in particular is made with chicken. Okay. Family favorite. Anyone and everyone is eating this at parties. There's not even a question on what's in that. They'll just eat it.
It's like, who's making it, as opposed to should we have this? So, okay, you gotta get it. What do you guys think? Does it remind you of anything?
We have a similar version. It's just like the regular egg roll, right? We've never had chicken before. This is the first time I've ever had it with chicken. It's super good.
Yeah. I really like the texture and the flavors.
Yeah, so we have something similar too, but ours is called egg roll, but it's made not like the Vietnamese kind. So ours is like with the vermicelli noodles and cabbage, carrots, minced pork with mushrooms, like it's a type of mushrooms in there. And then you just mix it all together with all the seasonings. So it's very similar.
And are they deep fried or pan?
Yes.
Okay.
Deep fried.
That's also why
right? Anything fried is good.
Anything deep fried and I'm there. Okay.
Yeah, deep fried. I mean, I've seen people kind of saute it, but it gets all soggy quickly. I like mine's deep fried. This size, so this one's called Shanghai. Because they're smaller. There's a lot of different varieties of lumpia. You'll see the bigger varieties, vegetable varieties. I really like these Shanghai versions because they're snack size. So you could get away with eating a lot of them. And nobody knows.
Yes. No one knows if that's your first or your fifth.
Exactly.
And is there a way, am I eating it right? Is it okay to eat it with my hands, or is there another way to eat it?
Oh yeah, we're Filipino, so we eat everything with our hands.
I'm Mexican, we could same. So
Yeah, so if you're not eating it with your hands, you're not doing it right.
okay. That is delicious. I'm definitely gonna come back for a couple dozen more after this, but I would love to get started on these. And so is it the same way we can just grab it with our hands? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab mine then.
Ooh.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'd love to hear a little bit more about what goes into how you make these, any childhood memories that this like kind of brings up whenever you're cooking it.
Yeah, so this is super simple. So you'll see, I mean, you're able to see everything in it because the rice paper is clear, right? So you got the shrimp and pork, the vermicelli noodles, and the herbs. So there's like mint, and then there's the purple herb as well. And so, like, my favorite memory is like, this is the type of meal where you can't like take it and then go sit in front of the TV and eat by yourself. Like, this is a very communal dish because if you were to eat it at our house, there's like the rice paper, which is completely dry, and then you have a bowl of water in the middle, and you have to dip the rice paper in to wet it to make it like soft like this. And then you have to grab like the ingredients that you want. Like, some people don't like shrimp, or some people, you know, want more herbs or whatever, and you put it all in there, and then you wrap it up, and then you eat it. So everything's at the table. You can't like leave the table. You have to be there.
This isn't a TV dinner.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember my mom would be like, yours is so ugly, it's so skinny, you need to do it. Why do you know, the shrimp has to look nice, and like all these things and stuff. She ends up just making it, like, you know. And so that's like one of my like favorite memories is like, I'll sit next to the mom and like make sure, you know, I'm doing it kind of right, but she just ends up like hijacking it and like making like, I turn around and there's like 5 already made. I'm like, this is why you sit next to her. So is that why you purposely sit next to her? You know, so it's super fun. And then this is like the
I didn't even try the
peanut sauce.
Okay, let me try it.
There's no flavor because it's not. There's no like seasoning in this. All the flavor is in the sauce.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a peanut hoisin garlic.
I still really like it. I feel like I can taste a lot of the mint, and I love mint.
Yeah.
And so that's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Really refreshing. And I don't feel like this is a meal that I would like hate myself after I eat it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I could eat a lot of this.
Yeah.
And never get
I
to
had
that
all
point.
my veggies and herbs, and
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
fresh. What do you need? Yeah, it's really good.
I'm gonna try the peanut sauce next. And is this exactly what it sounds like? It's just peanuts? Okay. And you said it's like, this is pork and then shrimp?
Yep.
And then are there other toppings that you typically can use too, or are those the staple ones?
Those are the staples. You can have different herbs. Like, some people can put cucumbers, carrots, but we, like, if you're at a Vietnamese house, like, there's always these two, like the mint and the purple leaves are always going to be in the garden. Like, so you just go out in the backyard and you just snip it and then wash it and bring it in, and they grow like. Every year they come back. I have a garden and I never water it, and somehow it comes back to life. It's like they know I'm Vietnamese, and it's like these need to, you know, grow for me. And like they'll hop over like to our neighbor's side, and I'm trying to contain it. But yeah, they
Love that.
So you'll always like these herbs are always in there because they're just so readily available. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
I
Okay.
really like the freshness of it.
Me too. It's like very refreshing. I really like it. The peanut sauce is really legit. I don't think I've had peanut sauce not already mixed into something before. So, and you mentioned having an outdoor garden. Is that like really common, almost like necessary for Vietnamese cuisine? Okay.
Yeah, because there's herbs in almost every dish that we eat. There's always a vegetable in whatever dish. And so it's like pretty cumbersome to like go to the grocery store or the Asian store, right? It's not like a Walmart, right? There's only like off of Pioneer is where all the Asian stores are, you know? So we usually just go once a week and get what we need. But the herbs don't always stay fresh all that time. So it's always important to have something in your garden. And if I don't have it, like I'll go to my parents, and if they don't have it, they come over to mine. And like sometimes I'll look out the window and I see my parents is like lettuce. Take all you want, and they just like grow. So
Okay.
yeah, we just share the different kinds of herbs and vegetables that we have. So
Okay.
it's right on.
Okay. That's cool to know. Is there anything like that for you with anything like this or anything other in your cuisine? Is there anything that like you have to have in your house at all times, whether it be like fresh herbs or fresh mint or whatever?
Rice. I mean, I think that's a staple
What
of
kind
any
of rice?
Asian.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
rices.
My favorite is long grain jasmine rice. But I could get down with some sushi rice too. Like, you know, my kids love sticky rice. So, like, all types of rice is actually readily available in my household. But growing up, it's rice and then some kind of like ground meats to either make lumpia, to make these other thing called torta. They're like little meat patties that my mom used to always cook. So when she was in a pinch and she came home late, that's something that she just fry up really quickly and we would eat. So any ground meat with like vegetables was always readily available at my house because you could kind of put it in anything.
Yeah.
The lumpia wrapper, kind of fry it up, or so.
Is there any specific kind of meat that is preferred?
I think pork.
Okay.
Yeah. You see pork put in a lot of Filipino cuisine,
Okay.
with whatever it is, but they started putting a lot of like chicken and a lot of other ground meats in it, but I see pork a lot.
Okay. Okay. I actually really like pork, but I don't.
Yeah.
I think like I don't know if I have a whole lot of recipes that I can think of to like make it aside from like pork chops or something. So
Yeah.
that's good to know that maybe I'll have to hit you guys up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. So now I would love for you to talk more about what you brought for us.
So I brought kaboon. So that's something that you always have noodles in the house. So you're either making some kind of noodles, but growing up, we had kaboon. A lot of times we had it with fish, but I don't like to make it with fish because I don't like deboning it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I was like, no. So we kind of switched over to chicken. But like I said earlier, it's a red curry paste with like a yellow Thai curry paste with it. So you saute that for a little bit until it's kind of the aromas are coming out of it, and then you put your coconut milk in there, and then on the side you're boiling your chicken. So the chicken boils for about an hour and a half, depending on how big it is and how tender you want your meat to be. So once that's done, you kind of shred it, and I kind of put some chicken into like a mortar and like kind of just smash it so you can have like more flavor that's soaked into your chicken. But that's what kind of I grew up on, and something I like to make, especially when I'm missing home.
Yeah.
So
I love that. So let's dig into this. I'm so excited.
Finish this.
And it just feels like even with all the dishes that you guys brought, there's just like a lot of like always green stuff, like some element of green stuff in there. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe my upbringing was just very carb heavy. And so I just love that it just feels like you guys incorporate a lot of like natural things like in the meals.
yeah, like growing up, my parents always had a garden. So like your green mustard, your cilantro, your green onions, all that stuff came from the garden.
Wow.
So we didn't eat out a lot. So
Okay. I'm going to try the quail egg first because I'm just so excited to try it.
Don't get addicted. Take a little boiled egg.
They have like a different texture.
Yes.
And I feel like regular eggs.
Yeah.
but if you want more,
Or chicken eggs, not regular eggs, but
Yeah, whenever Emily makes hot pot, she knows to put quail eggs just for me because I could go down on like 10 quail eggs.
Yeah, they're so petite.
yeah, they're really good. It's like kind of firmer than a chicken egg. I can't do this.
But the yolk is like super soft and like kind of just melts in your mouth.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out the process of this because I don't eat with spoons like this, and so I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to master it.
You got it. Yeah, you're doing it. Yeah. You're doing it.
That's good. So do you make your own meatballs?
no,
Okay.
unfortunately, no, it's too much of a process. Store-bought meatballs.
Yeah.
It was iconic. It's so good. And you said this is coconut milk, right?
Yes.
Is there ever any dairy in like any cow dairy in your food?
No, I can't think of any actually. Not like, yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah, usually a lot of it's like coconut. Like you'll use just like the coconut milk.
Yeah.
But not like dairy.
Yeah, you did put a lot.
Do you want a new one? No, it's just a napkin.
There's always behind us. I like the Asian, the Asian spice is a different kind of spice.
Okay. I like it. I always have to have it, but
Thank you.
like symptoms start to develop.
This one that's spicy because my mom grows her own Thai chili, and then what they do is they harvest it and then they dry it out and then they blend it and then they stir fry it in.
It kind of tackles the back of your throat, you know?
You're not staying up.
But it is really good. And is there like, because I feel like growing up, I only had soup whenever I was like not feeling well. Is that is that a thing, or is it soup all the time? Like you don't need to feel a certain way to have soup?
Yeah, you don't it's soup all the time. Different types of soups they make. So yeah, it's always
Always on the table.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. Like I always make fun of Mom, why are you making soup again? It's like once a week we have like a different type of soup. But then now it's like, oh, I miss it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. It's like it's a little spicy, but the noodles and I don't know, like I think also the coconut milk helps like it not be, I don't know, it's just a lot of flavor. I feel like I had spicy things that are spicy and that's all they contribute. Like that's the point is just pain. But with this, it's like the spice is very flavorful. Like it's good. You know, like I don't know.
I think that coconut milk really helps like with the spice to like calms it down a little bit. And then also the freshness of like the vegetables. It just gives that crisp like, it cuts through the spice.
Yeah. I love that. Well, and we kind of talked about family or memory kind of tied to this dish. Do you have a memory tied to this dish?
Yes, like I think what it is like what I was saying. Like we usually make it with fish growing up, so it was like we'll go fishing with my parents, and then when we come home, like whatever leftover fish is that what they use catfish. So we'll go catfishing like Saturday mornings and stuff like super early. It'll be like 4 o'clock. My dad's like, okay, we gotta go. Everybody pack the car, and then we'll be out there all day, and then at night, like about dinner time, we usually come home. And then after that, they'll just, clean all the fish, put whatever they want on this side, and then whatever what they want for the soup, then, they'll boil it and just like, it's just the love that gets put into it at the time and love it. So it's just something we always kind of had together.
Yeah.
So.
Is there like a culture of like we cook together and we eat together? Like, is that part, like because I feel like, I don't know, I think for me growing up, all I can talk about is my experience, but like growing up, like you kind of stayed out of the kitchen if you weren't cooking, and then afterwards you cleaned. Like that was kind of the dynamic of it. Is that kind of how it is, or everybody pitches in to?
Usually, like the women will pitch in. Like the men are like, oh, I did my job. I went and caught the fish, and there you go. Yeah. But a lot of times, like all the women are in the kitchen, and then we're all cooking together. And then like the men are just kind of hanging out to the side or just doing something else. But you eat together. That's the thing. It's like,
That's
okay.
sweet.
So everybody played a part in putting that meal together or play some kind of part in it. But yeah, we all kind of eat together. The kids have their own table. The adults kind of have their own table, So, yeah.
Is it the same for you guys?
Yeah, like with making lumpia, it's kind of like a communal experience. Growing up, when we made lumpia, it was a family effort. So my mom would be the one putting like the ground pork and the vegetables together. She'd have this big old silver pot because she would make them in abundance because people would order from her because they love her lumpia so much. So she would just make a ton, and so she'd have like gloves on with like just mixing everything together. She had to like put everything on like a wooden kind of thing on the floor so she could reach it because she's a little on the short side. So she'd be the one mixing everything while me and my cousins or my siblings would be the one ripping the lumpia wrappers apart because they come frozen and all stuck together, and they're so thin. So you kind of have to be delicate by ripping them like apart. And so we would have a competition like who can rip them apart the fastest and not rip any of them, like who has all the perfect lumpia wrappers. And that's how we would help our mom. And then someone would be squeezing the lumpia, like filling in, then someone would be rolling them, then someone would be closing it up with egg wash. So it's more of a communal experience for me growing up, and that's why I really love seeing it in all our gatherings, because it means a lot.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, it's the same. Like I hear your stories and I can imagine, like, depending on the dish, like the different responsibilities that we're allowed to have. Allowed to have. So my mom really likes her food. Like her pride is in her food, right? And so like she will do all the main like seasoning and the main cooking, but we kids would be like washing the veggies or like peeling them off. Bean sprouts will be like plucking the ends, like all the prep kind of work, and she does all the main like
Heavy duty.
like, so that there's no like finger pointing.
I love that. I think that is something that I see people missing out on, is like the having meals together. Like I feel, especially like young adults, like if they are perhaps away from home, like they're just living with roommates at a different paces of life, and so like people just kind of learn to be roommates with people, and so I don't know, I just really like that it just feels like the food is not just about being delicious and being sustenance, but it's about bringing people together, it feels like, and I just really enjoy that. That being said, I just love hearing all these stories, because I feel like every person and every heritage has a way that it points to Jesus and how it points to God's goodness and his creativity with creation. And so I would just love to ask, like, is there a way that you feel like these foods, or even just like family history or just family dynamic, has been able to point you to Jesus, or just like encouraged your faith somehow? Like what does that look like?
Well, I think for me, being Filipino, I think what you could understand about a Filipino is our hospitality. And so we usually express that a lot through our food. So when, you go to a family gathering, you ask people like, come eat. That's like the first thing you ask. Like, oh, come eat. Did you eat yet? Come eat. That's like the first thing. Like they don't need to know your name. They just want to know if you've eaten. And so like bringing that into your house and like inviting people in that way really points to like what Jesus did, right? Like he communed with people, with different kinds of people. He made sure people were taken care of. So it really just shows like in our culture how big our God is, also with our values and our traditions.
That's good. That's really sweet. What about you guys?
The first word that comes in my mind when I think of like the Vietnamese culture, I don't know about yours, is like obedience. Obedience is so big in our culture, like regardless of what religious background you have, it's like you always obey your elders. This is just like ingrained in us. No matter, even if you're an adult, you have your own family, you still like honoring, you obey your parents. So obedience and love always went hand to hand. So they would say, if you really love me, then you would obey me. And even if we didn't fully understand why we had to obey or the logic behind that, we would trust our parents, and then we would see the blessing that comes from it. And so like that's how I've come to understand John 14. Like it doesn't like rub against me, like somebody's like, if you like I have to obey you, but it's like that there is like no dissonance in obedience and love, like in the Asian culture, or just in the Vietnamese culture specifically. Like that was just an expression of our love.
That's really sweet and good perspective too. What about you?
Yeah, I think for me it's a little different, because like I didn't grow up in a Christian household or anything like that. My parents are very traditional Buddhist Taoists. So for me it was like my grandpa was a shaman, huge in their community. So but for him to allow me to go to church, or for my I was in a tutoring program growing up, and my tutor was a Sunday school teacher. So she had asked my parents, hey, is it okay for me to take them to church and kind of introduce them, and then I was very shocked that like my grandpa like, okay, like go ahead, and then that's just kind of like just seeing that. And then like also like a lot of for me was like, okay, my parents believe in this, but this is what I want to choose to believe in, so it was a hard battle, but I think what a lot of it was when I first moved to Texas, and kind of coming to Filter and just kind of seeing, hey, this is what, Christians putting my faith more into Christ and, continuing to do that. So my parents didn't really not let me go to church. So kind of just seeing my mom support now, especially now more, like, hey, if something's wrong, like, just pray. And my mom would never say that before growing up. So it's just like, I guess, me putting my faith in Jesus and kind of having her see the difference in me. So it's different and from my parents' perspective. And then just coming to faith, being here, being with my husband. And I guess growing up, it's in my culture, it's like if you married somebody that's outside of the culture, that's kind of like what you have to follow. And so my husband was Christian, so my grandpa was just like, okay, well, now this is a route you're going to take. You're kind of like not kicked out, but in a sense kicked out of like our ancestral like line. Now you're with your husband and you have to follow what he believes in and what he practices. So,
So it's very like they respect marriage.
Yes.
Like they respect like your husband's leadership. That's really interesting. Because I feel like I don't know. I think I've heard and seen of people that have maybe become believers and their parents aren't, and there's like a lot of it's a very combative, volatile situation. So that's encouraging to me that your parents seemed very respectful.
Yeah, I was first scared to like let them know, hey, Mom, I've been baptized, but like kind of like, okay, it's time to tell them like, hey, Mom, I got baptized. And for her to like, good, like, okay, anything you need, always just pray to him, So just kind of seeing her, I was like, okay.
Yeah. No, that's really sweet. I think, we talked a lot about y'all's upbringing and just family dynamic. Is there one thing that you wish people knew about, your respective heritage? Like, is there something specific that you would, like, if you had 5 seconds to share with someone one thing, what would that one thing be?
I think for us, a lot of people ask what Mien is, or like where they're from, and we don't have a country. We were originally ancestralized back, I don't know when. We were originally Chinese. But because of the war that broke out in China, a lot of people fled. A lot of people fled to the mountains of Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and they kind of created their own language because they didn't want to be captured. So if they were captured, they would be imprisoned back in China. So they created a language, and the language and culture that's Mien. So I speak Mien, and that is my culture. So that's something that, we don't consider ourselves Chinese anymore. So we consider ourselves Mien. There's 7 clans in Mien. So if you notice, a lot of Mien people, their last name are Say Chow, Say Li, Say Fong, Say Chen. So there's 7 of them. But the Say part came from when a lot of people were in refugee camps, when they fled to Thailand. So the Americans had added that Say part to a lot of their names. So once a lot of Mien people became U.S. citizens, they removed that Say part. So like my parents are back to Chow because that was the original name. Yeah, it's just something, a lot of people don't know. Like, people are like, what is Mien? What do you have for your own country?
What country is it?
Yeah, so we don't, but a lot of us are from Thailand and Laos. Like, my parents were from Laos. They fled to Thailand. I was born in Thailand. I was born in the refugee camp because we waited so long to come to the United States. A lot of us were sponsored by Christian churches. So that's just kind of who we are and who I am.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, that's good. What about you guys?
I think like thinking of the broader audience, like when they would interact with Vietnamese people, and like I know it sounds so stereotypical, but like a nail salon is probably like where most people will like truly like interact with a Vietnamese person. And so I think like to help the broader audience kind of understand, because Vietnamese people are very blunt, and especially the older generation. I can't say this to everybody. Like we'll just say, and ask questions just because we're curious. So like if they don't see a ring on your finger or whatever, like, why you had no husband? And why you know this? And they're not trying to be judgmental.
Yeah.
They're really just curious.
They
like,
want to know.
why? Like, you're a beautiful person. Why aren't you married? You know? And so I think some people can like take that offensively, like they're asking too many personal questions. They seem like judgmental, but it's actually out of place of curiosity. So if anyone had, growing up, my aunts and uncles, like if I went to college, I wasn't living at home, and when I come back, I may look different, or I'm skinnier, or I'm fatter, or whatever. They would always make a comment like,
They'll let you know.
"What are you eating?" And like, "What are you?" And I don't take offense. It's just like they're curious. They want to know because they care. And so that's one thing I want people to understand. If a Vietnamese person asks you, well, you might feel like an offensive question. It's just because they're curious and they want to care.
That's a good thing to keep in mind. Don't take offense. Like, it's okay. Like, they legitimately just want to know. Yeah, good. That's good. What about you?
I think for us, for Filipinos, not a lot of people, Filipinos are known, but not well known within the Asian community as like Asian. So like, yes, there's a lot of different Filipino skin tones, colors, languages. We have like over 100 different dialects in Philippines alone. Wow. So like, we get, kind of characterized as just being Asian, but like Filipinos have adapted a lot of different communities, like from my food, like lumpia Shanghai, that came from China. We just kind of adapted it to our tasting, our language. A lot of our words come from the Spanish language, so we have a lot of different things that we say that's same. Cuchara, like all these things are the same.
You said something earlier, and I was like, that sounds exactly like in Spanish, but I didn't say anything.
Well,
and I can't remember it.
See, our torta is a little different than your torta. So like, we've adapted a lot of these different cultures within the Filipino community and kind of just made it our own. And I think that's what I want people to learn, is that Filipinos, they are adaptable. Put them in any situation, they'll thrive, whether it be like, in the Philippines being American or coming to Texas. You'll find a Filipino cowboy. So like, I don't know, but they're fully adaptable. So that's what I want people to know about them.
That's really cool. Like now that you're saying that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like now, and like with these things in mind, like I'll know what to look for, like, and I'll have like conversation starters in that too. And so like, that's really sweet. And I think it's just like the beauty of community and of being at a church that isn't afraid of diversity, but like embraces it. And, I came into this knowing very little about what we were going to talk about, but if you have kind of the understanding of like my understanding of life is not the only one, and my understanding of life is not superior to anything else, like, and there's just so much beauty in creation and in God's people that we can all just come together and get to celebrate and enjoy food, enjoy stories, like, and even just different culture dynamics that are just really sweet. I love that we get to talk about this and talk about being someone that's completely ignorant to all of these things. Like, it's just been, thank you guys for sharing like your stories, and just I just think that's just one of the beautiful things about being in community and being part of a church that celebrates and embraces diversity of different heritage, different culture, different languages, different people. And so with that in mind, like we kind of talked a little bit about like what's one thing you wish people would know, but again, like, why is it important for people to embrace other cultures and heritages? Like, what as believers should we be changing our perspective on as it comes to engaging in people from different backgrounds? Like, why should we even have to? Is it okay to kind of live in your bubble of what you're familiar with? Like, why should we engage with one another in that?
Well, I think it's biblical, right? We are called to go out to the ends of the earth of all nations, to make disciples of all nations, not just our own nation, So it's important for us to not only recognize other cultures, also celebrate them, so they know, like, we have the love that Jesus has inside of us, and we love who they are also. They might be different, they might have other values and traditions, but we love them because we're all one under Christ, So I think it's important for us to know their culture and how to reach them in that way.
Yeah, that's good.
And I think tying with that, just understanding them, because, letting them know that, hey, we love Jesus, and because Jesus loved us, we need to love others the same way and not judge others just because they are different, but just because their skin color or their culture is different or their religion is different. We still need to love them the same like he loves us.
Yes. No, that's great.
I kind of echo what you're both saying. It's like you think in Revelation, right? When at the end of time and you see like people of all tribes and all tongues, all people there, and they're worshiping the same God, right?
Yes.
And you have to wonder, how did they get there?
Yeah.
Like, how did all these diverse people get there in this perfect kingdom? Is because somebody told them the gospel. It wasn't inherently in their culture to know who Jesus is, but somebody brought the good news to them. Yes. Right. So if you don't understand someone's culture, like it's hard to build bridges to the gospel. It's hard to make connection. And like when you do that and you embrace these different cultures, you're playing a role in God's story of the kingdom that we're going to see. Like you're part of this bigger story that you're going to see at the end of time. And that's already forming right now as we're talking. And then also thinking like we're all image bearers, right? Like we all bear the image of God, and no one person, no one culture can bear that image perfectly, right? Like we're so different, but every aspect of the Hispanic culture, the Mien or Filipino, Vietnamese culture, even as you're sharing like about hospitality or about like valuing marriage and cleaving to your husband or honesty or obedience, like those are all one aspect of our culture that point to like the perfect image of God, right? So like by appreciating, celebrating our differences and our diversity, we're able to see like a fuller image of the image of God.
Yes, I agree with you 1,000,000%. And I agree, especially with I believe every culture and heritage in their own way points to King Jesus. Like, and I've, in visiting other countries, like I've been able to identify like they're already like Jesus and they don't even know it, and so like what a beautiful way to be able to point people to King Jesus. Like, this is what he's done in my life. He can do the same in yours. Like, we don't have to have common ground as far as like familiarity, same food, like same skin, same language. Like we don't have to have that foundation. Like we are all made in the image of God, and like and God is worthy of our praise. Like he is worthy of our worship, but he's also worthy of their worship and their praise. And so it's just whenever you're able to expand your horizon and be just like curious, like but not curious to like to be better, a better, more cultured person, but just curious as a genuine desire to like, I want to know this person. I want to see them. Like, tell me about your family. Like, tell me about kind of what dinners look like. Like, tell me about those aspects. Like, I think it's just such a beautiful thing that it makes you appreciate God and his creativity and his sovereignty more. So I agree with you guys. So thank you guys so much for sharing this delicious food. I'm going to take this to go. But thank you guys so much for listening. Again, here at Builder, we love and we cherish and celebrate diversity, but we also want you to know that you are loved.